What does this budget say to Brussels, given that it's based on a smooth transition from the EU?
Good morning, Belle. Well, the message it sends to Brussels is basically the same message that London's been sending for weeks, saying on the one hand, we want a free trade deal with the EU, we want to continue a good relationship in the future, yet we're also ready for all outcomes. So it's a way of showing goodwill, if you want, but also of strong-arming the EU. I would go even further. When Philip Hammond says that it could spell the end of austerity, it's almost a direct message to voters. You know that amongst Eurosceptics in the EU, there's this widely perceived notion that the EU is a defender of austerity, that is a budget restrictive institution. So this is a direct message to voters. And finally, there's a direct message to businesses on both sides of the channel that grow increasingly worried about the outcome of these negotiations and who are increasing their pressure on political leaders to finally strike a deal.
What's your sense as negotiations enter their final phase? Are things looking perhaps a little bit more optimistic?
In a way, yes, Belle. I mean, since last summit, mid-October, you know that there was no deal that was achieved. And the EU leaders essentially said, well, as far as the technical side of the negotiations go, the backstop especially, we went as far as we could go. Now it's a matter of politics. The ball is in Theresa May's court. And since that summit, two things happened. First, Theresa May managed to reaffirm her leadership within her own party. And second, she will probably get this budget through this week. So now that these two major hurdles are cleared, Theresa May has the leadership, she has the authority, this stability to deal with the EU. And so now she can go back to Brussels and say, look, we pulled ourselves together. Now let's meet halfway and let get this deal done before December.